The Broadway Show is your all-access pass to the biggest shows and stars of the Broadway stage and beyond. I'm Tamsen Fadal. Welcome. Get ready to bug out. It's the Broadway debut of Bug, the cult classic psychological thriller from Tracy Letts. Bug stars Tony and Emmy nominee Carrie Coon. We caught up with the cast.
I think it makes theater feel irreverent. It makes theater feel vital. It feels subversive to be an artist right now, and this play in particular is subversive. And I love that we have the opportunity to do it on Broadway, which is arguably the biggest stage. I mean, it's how people think of, the pinnacle of theater. It's like our major league, right? When you achieve that, it's a sign of success, of outward success. But there's also such a lovely intimacy that gets built because we're all just walking around the sidewalks in the same neighborhoods and going to the same places to eat and the same, massage therapists. And so there's just a real sense of camaraderie among the artists who are working in any given season. But it's also cool to be bringing something I think is edgy and unlike anything else on the season this year. I just think it's a really it's a fun offering to bring.
This play offers a lot for us as actors, and every day is something different. There's a new discovery. It's like jazz. It's like you find the notes, you know the notes, you know all the music, the whole score, but every night you play it differently. Every time in rehearsal, we play it differently.
I was in London with the production of Killer Joe, my first play, and I heard a news report on the radio about the bombing of the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City by Timothy McVeigh. And I thought that what I was hearing was British satire. I thought I was hearing a comedy program on the radio. Of course, we came to find out that it was real, and it was a real eye-opener for a lot of us about just how deep the roots of paranoia and conspiracy went in this country. So it caused me to start to investigate that, and it was the early days of the internet. So in the early days of the internet, it was pretty much all porn or conspiracy. It was about all you got, and you could see how the internet was just tinder to let conspiracy just spread like wildfire, obviously to a place 30 years later beyond what we could have imagined in 1995.
One of the things that people say in recent times when they see Bug is, did you rewrite it for today? Is it like clearly you've updated it? You clearly rewrote it for today, and he hasn't changed a word. So, it is... I think that is a good reminder, always a good reminder that we've been here before. And I said the same thing about Good Night and Good Luck, but I mean, that's true. When we look at any of our history, we say, no, there's nothing new under the sun. We have been here before, which means we've gotten through it before.
Here's a star-studded Broadway opening for you. Oscar nominee June Squibb is back on Broadway in Marjorie Prime. She's leading a cast that includes Cynthia Nixon and Danny Burstein. Marjorie Prime is about an older woman spending her final days with the hologram of her dead husband. We caught up with the stars on the carpet.
I had seen the play in California, in LA, at the Mark Taper when it was done about 10 or 11 years ago. And so they asked me to do it. And I said, well, send the script, because I wanted to see the script again. And once I looked at that script and started reading it, I thought, oh, this is something I really should do. I just felt that I should do it.
For me, playing AI, it's really, the audience has been incredibly helpful in terms of just kind of informing me as I'm going along the trajectory of my character. And has really helped with me being not too robotic, not too human, really kind of trying to find that sweet spot. But I really do think that as much as AI is a big part of the play, it really is a play about memory and grief and the way that we process legacy and aging and pain and love.
It dealt with a lot of issues that are very important to me. I hate AI. First of all, but it also, more than anything, it's a family show, and I really related to it on that level, and related to the ideas of love and loss and moving forward through grief, and how you do that.
The play really hit me hard when I read it. I mean, like, my mother was 82 and a half when she died. We were very close. I knew so much about her and her parents and her life growing up. but I must have 1,000 questions. And I don't mean that as a phrase. I mean, literally, I bet I have 1,000 questions I would like to ask her. And why didn't I? Oh, ask your parents questions. Ask them.
Jeremy Jordan back in Broadway's Biggest Party, the Tony nominee returning to the role he originated in the smash Broadway musical, The Great Gatsby. We had a chance to talk. How are you feeling about everything at this point?
Good. I'm feeling really good. It's exciting.
How is your life as dad at home compared to the character you're undertaking now?
They could not be more different. I mean, Jay Gatsby is, you know, very well-known literary character, but he is very single-minded. All he cares about is this really one goal of getting this girl back that he fell in love with all these years ago, and he has stopped at nothing in order to achieve that goal. Everything that he does is kind of an act. So there is an inauthenticity, even though his driving motivation feels very heartfelt and real. The only way that he feels like someone like him can go about that is to, you know, fake it till you make it, which is something that I can resonate with. I mean, that's kind of what we do in this business, to be honest with you. We're all play pretending, you know. But you know, then going home for me, it's just like
you can't fake it there.
No, I mean it's all raw, rugged. I mean, I'm in my sweats. You know, I'm on the floor.
No gin-soaked parties.
No, I'm just like trying to drink tea, trying to like stay awake. Definitely no, I don't go to any parties. I mean, it is a rare occasion that you will see me at a party. And A, it's just like not really my vibe anymore, but
right.
B, it's just like so loud. And I have to protect the instrument.
We want you to protect that.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of period pieces. I mean, this is one though that, you know, written over 100 years ago, and we're talking about some big Hollywood, you know, heavyweights that have been in this role before. So what do you want to bring to this one?
Yeah, I mean,
you're creating your own heavyweight
yeah,
here.
First of all, like I've stuck really to the book.
Good.
You know, I don't know that I've ever seen the Robert Redford version, and I know that I saw the DiCaprio version many years ago, but the thing that I've learned about myself, and I think a lot of people, is that when you see somebody else do an interpretation of the same character or the same work, it's just always there in the back of your mind, and it's harder to really make that fully your own. So like, there's a couple things that I say in the show that I've heard DiCaprio say, and it's still really hard for me to like get his version of that like iconic line out of my head. And so like I try to remove myself from that and sort of create Gatsby from scratch in our own way. And the book is told from a single perspective, which is one of the characters, the character of Nick. And so he really only can guess at the motivations of the other characters and, you know, their inner workings. And so that's where we get to kind of play and make discoveries and decide new things. My Gatsby, at least, my sort of first question was like, what kind of person would literally go to the ends of the earth and somehow become the richest person in Long Island over the course of a very short period of time just because he wants to get a girl? Like, that kind of person is not the most stable human being. Yeah. You know, they're not the most rational of thinkers. He's a little bit neurotic. He's like a little bit, you know, of a control freak. And I think that ultimately ends up being his downfall. But it's really fun to kind of attack it from like, how does someone like that get to be this way? And that's kind of where I started.
Liberation is on Broadway this holiday season and beyond. The new play from Bess Wohl explores the women's movement of the 70s and how it still resonates today. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
What first sparked you into liberation?
The play really came from this
almost lifelong desire from when I was very small to understand the feminist movement. My mom worked at Ms. Magazine when I was a little kid. I spent a lot of my childhood going to Ms., meeting her friends, grew up with like great feminist flashcards instead of baseball cards. You know what I mean? I was
What's on a feminist flashcard?
Oh, it's like Sojourner Truth and Susan B. Anthony, and you know, you're learning about all these amazing women through history. So I was really steeped in that growing up. And it kind of became part of my worldview. And then as I grew up, I noticed ways that my own life was coming into collision with some of the ideas that I had grown up with. And I really wanted to write about it. And so I spent, really probably over a decade trying to figure out how to write this play, how I wanted to approach the material, what the play would be. And Liberation is the result of all of that life and all of that work.
And this play really is in conversation between the 1970s and the present. So tell me about that.
I knew that I didn't want to write a play that was just a history play. You know, I wanted something that felt really current, really now, and I wanted an opportunity to look at and talk about all of the changes that are happening in the world right now. At the same time, because of how I grew up, the women who fought for their rights in the 1970s loomed really large for me. So I wanted to find a way to put those two decades and time periods in conversation with each other. And the play, like, quite literally puts them in conversation with each other. It's a real mashup, and I was just really interested in jumping in time and the way theater can do that, unlike almost any other art form.
Let's talk about where you set it. It's off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah, I wanted to write about all the women who are doing the sort of grassroots organizing and work outside of New York, LA, Chicago. There's a great book I read called Feminism in the Heartland that really makes the point that, like, these kind of groups were happening all over America. This was like and all over the world. Like, this was a worldwide consciousness raising or awakening that was happening, and I was really interested in finding those stories. I felt that, like, we've seen the story maybe a little bit of the sort of coastal women, and I wanted the women who, like, maybe had a feminist book, like, hidden under their mattress, you know, and they were, like, pulling it out and reading it at night, or, you know, the women who were showing up at something not really knowing even why they were there. I think what keeps these women going in my play, more than the sort of political ideas, is, like, the friendship and the camaraderie and the joy that they're finding
also
together.
In those places, I'm from Ohio, this is set in Ohio, you're farther apart.
Yeah.
So to do this takes more effort, maybe. You have to drive to the basement to meet the people.
Totally, and it's a time before the internet, right? And that was a really interesting thing for us to all consider, because especially talking about young people coming to the play, a lot of them, you know, haven't existed in a world without a phone. And of course, we take your phone away when you come into the theater. So we're creating a world without phones. And I think, as, like, for people pre-internet to find like-minded people was so much harder, you know, because you couldn't just search whatever you were interested in online. So I think there's a different kind of need for community. We still need it now, obviously, but there's just a different kind of isolation.
Mamma Mia, here we go again. The music of ABBA and one of the most popular musicals of all is back on Broadway. Let's send it out to Paul Wontorek.
Donna, Mamma Mia, Broadway, my Broadway debut.
Yes.
How are you feeling right now?
All this time, it's crazy. I have had such a unique journey here. I mean, if you can't tell by my age. You know, my life has been really layered and complex. I've been a mom, I've raised a family, and I've been a teacher, and an actor in Chicago, and I've just gone back and forth, and I'm thrilled. Beyond grateful. Really grateful.
I love Rosie and Tanya. They're both such juicy roles.
Yes.
I mean, so you two have been singing into hairbrushes for 20 months
Yeah. Oh, yes.
on the road.
Oh, yes.
How does it feel to now be landed on Broadway at the Winter Garden.
Oh, amazing. It's always been a dream to bring it back home.
Yeah.
Since the very beginning. When we started the tour, I didn't really have it in the stars, but I thought, hey, how amazing would it be to go back to the Winter Garden and do this and get to go to work where I live.
Yeah. I think that's one of the most exciting things is when you're on tour and you're, jumping around here and there, but we live here, so now we have a sense of like stability and we can just breathe every day and breathe our own air. And
I love the relationships in the show. I think it says a lot about friendships and about lovers and mothers and daughters, and it's just all this very human connections, all these characters.
It's crazy because a lot of the feedback we got at the stage door was sort of surprising. It was women telling us and girls telling us that the most emotional part of the play for them was the bedroom scene where the dynamos are all goofing around. And that's sort of unexpected, right? You're like, what? Not my ballad? What? They said it was because it's what everybody wants, that unconditional love and support. The three of us, I think, have that in real life. And I think that it's really transparent, when you get three best friends on stage and they don't have that. And so we're really lucky.
This is also a show about the relationship to music, right? I mean, these songs, it's deep.
These are classic songs that get stuck in your head as soon as you leave the theater.
It feels like we're rock stars.
It's a party. It is a party through and through. We do feel like rock stars because everybody's up on their feet and jamming, and we're just having fun. And it's just an amazing feeling to be able to see all of that. It's exciting, it's joyful, and it's just what we need right now.
Maybe Happy Ending has taken Broadway by storm. Critically acclaimed, totally original, and the winner of the Tony Award for Best New Musical.
Today the smiles too are warmer than the norm.
Here's Perry Sook.
All right, we are here in the calling room with Justin Scribner. We're sneaking up on showtime. There's a lot going on already. Just how does this show that is so extensively technical get started every day?
We have an incredible group of people, 19 different crew members, 3, sometimes 4 stage managers, and an amazing front of house team that all come about 90 minutes before the show to prepare. And our crew is made up of some really incredibly skilled technicians that handle all, I think we have 450 video tiles. Here you're able to see kind of each individual tile. The back wall is a different kind of video tile than is all around the proscenium, which we're giving away a little bit of inside scoop on how much video is in the show, but when the show starts, it takes place in an apartment and you don't really have an idea that there's actually going to be a huge world around them, and we stay in their apartments for half an hour, 45 minutes, and the whole genius design of our designers put together a very small little musical with just 4 actors that then becomes a full stage kind of extravaganza that is made up of turntables and automated scenery that weighs more than 1 ton each, and these irises that move in and out, and the way that they've integrated lighting and video and our scenery is very intricate, which means we have to check every single aspect of it before the show starts every single day to make sure we're safe, and every single crew person has a lot on their plate, including the stage managers.
Yeah, how many calls are there and how many unique types of calls? I mean, because obviously you have your standard lighting cue and mic up, mic down. There's shoots with magazines coming out. There's automation. There's lights lining the automation as it moves. There's fireflies flying out of things. How many types of calls do you have in the show?
Well, luckily, for the most part, everything that I'm calling is either a verbal call on headset or a cue that I'm cueing with a cue light. So I turn on the cue lights to warn people and I turn them off to make things happen. There are cue lights built in backstage. On top of Oliver and Claire's unit, there's also cue lights out in the house. I think there are like 900 lighting events. There are the scenery moves 500 times. There is a significant amount of responsibility on the shoulders of the person calling the show, and I really truly feel like many experiences have built me up for this particular moment, but I do not foresee any sort of technical issue being a stumbling block for us. We're going to be able to get through it. I trust the people in the building, and building that trust is like the most important part of this whole process.
This is the Broadway Show, and we're back in just a few. That's all for now. I'll see you next time. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is the Broadway Show.